Yeah. Well, we were getting all set up, so.
Yeah. Okay, I think so we're live on the YouTubes. And we're live on the stream. Okay, we are live now. So you know what that means? That means we could do this. And hello, everybody. Once again, it's time for another fun-filled edition of
Insert title here.
It's the show that changes show names so often. We had to put a placeholder in. And this week, it's Gaming with Gators and Brian is the actual game.
Yeah.
Or Gators bitches about his incompetent coworker. Whichever happens first. I probably shouldn't do that, though, should I, Brian?
No, probably not.
But
Not without using a code.
All right. Well, let's come up with a code. Did I say coworker? I meant imaginary friend. I have an imaginary friend that I imagine I work with. Does that work?
His name is what? Agent Z.
Agent Z. Yeah, okay, we'll call him Agent Z. I'm not going to throw his real name out there. I already threw Dan Loveman's name out there, and
Right.
and he even has a Twitter account, but I haven't followed it, and you shouldn't either. But no, the Agent Z. Yeah. 9 months ago, we hired a contractor, and you know how that goes, Brian.
Yep.
Well, it's not that he's a contractor so much as he's young. And I don't know what his work experience is. But he's going to have an opportunity to add another company to his resume.
Yeah, isn't that good?
It's
Yeah, that's how they spin that, huh?
that's how I'm spinning it. I'm speaking in code.
Hey, got good news and bad news. Good news is you're going to have a new opportunity. Bad
And-
news is we're letting you go.
The better news is you don't have to work with a bunch of people that are getting ready to surround you and start like strangling you.
Right.
So it's really good news all around, any way you look at it.
That's right. That's right.
And the best news is we're not going to have to deal with it much longer.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Cool.
this guy. You ever have a coworker that you just can't help but wonder why does he do that? And if you try to nicely confront him with why did you do that, you can't get a clear answer. Is that the most frustrating thing or what?
Yeah, that sounds pretty frustrating.
Yeah. You know, for example, and I'm not saying this actually happened. I'm speaking in code, but you know, we might
Let's
have.
just say, yeah.
Let's say we worked at a place where there was a checklist that you followed to do a process. Like, you know, you're getting ready to set up a new hire, and you have a checklist that has all the steps for setting up a new hire, and it's a Word document that's in a grid, and so you put a check or an X in each spot as you do it. Like, you know, we went to a lot of trouble and a lot of meetings over numbers of weeks to have this perfect, you know, checklist, which also has a larger document that has a whole guide of how to do each step. So you don't have to remember everything. You don't have to take notes for this. You don't have to ask anyone questions. You just have to read the document, follow the page, and check the things off. In theory, let's say that was the case. I mean, that'd be a pretty good.
It's a pretty, straightforward scenario for sure.
Right. And so, but because people still get things wrong, and people still, like, you check something off and you think you did it, but it wasn't done right, or heck, some things don't install right, and so you install it, you check it, and it gets messed up, and someone else, so we actually have a second column because policy states that you do it, you give the checklist to someone else, and they go through the checklist and they check each item and make sure it's done right. Let's say in theory a place wanted to do that, to be thorough. These are all very plausible hypotheticals right now.
Perfectly logical.
Yeah, yeah. So let's say that my imaginary friend did an onboarding and went through the checklists. And there's two checklists, let's say. Let's say we did two checklists to simplify things. A checklist for setting up a laptop and a checklist for the whole process, setting up the different accounts. And setting up the laptop is one of the steps on the overall onboarding, but that one's got its own checklist. Right, so so let's say my imaginary friend, Agent Z, handed me a laptop and said, here, I need this QC'd. And let's say that, at 9:30 he said it was ready. He just wanted to take a quick look at it. And then he said, well, I'll have it ready by 3. In what universe is 5.5 hours a quick look over that before I'll have it ready?
Sounds kind of like the guy was totally lying.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. Hypothetically, this hypothetical guy would be a liar in this scenario that I'm painting. I'm not saying this really happened.
Right, of course not.
Of course not.
You sense that wasn't a quick look over takes 5.5 hours.
Yeah. I mean, the conversation might have gone something like this in my little fictional universe. It's 9:30 and we're having a morning meeting, and it's Friday. Hey, those 3 onboardings that you need to set up for Monday, how are those coming along? And the hypothetical answer that I imagine in this imaginary world is, I 2 of the laptops are ready to go, and the third one is just encrypting. Encrypting means that it just needs to sit and finish encrypting, and then it's done. So it's done. It's not like he needs to sit there and manually encrypt it. And it's like, oh, that is good news. All 3 of them are done. Yeah, I just want to give them a quick look before I hand them off. I'll have them ready by 3. What? That's weird. Is that weird? That's weird. That's definitely.
Weird. I mean, the only scenario that makes sense with that, if he's telling the absolute truth, is that he's so busy, got so many other things going on. The only place he can wedge it into his stuff is just before 3.
5 minutes before 3.
3 minutes before 3.
He's got a 5-minute chunk of time at 2:55. And
he probably was checking his smartphone. And he's wedging things in there, and he goes, just before 3, I get it.
Now, if I was good at imagining me, I'd imagine myself to be an awesome person that would, kind of, confidently say, I don't think that makes sense. If they're almost ready to go, I want to have those on my desk in 15 minutes. Because I'd imagine myself to be the boss in the situation, but I'm not that good at playing imagination. So I imagine myself to kind of, do a little bit, I don't think you quite need to be 3. That doesn't make sense. I think you could have that ready sooner. But I didn't actually confirm with him that he agreed with me. So, if we fast forward to like 2 o'clock and I realize I still don't have a laptop to QC on my desk in my hypothetical world because I'm imagining the full day. And I get to the point where I'm imagining the 2 o'clock hour. And, this is a bad way to spend weekends, imagining work days, and then during the week go and work those days. This is, I need to stop doing this, I think. Yeah. So, but in this hypothetical situation that totally didn't really happen, at 2 o'clock, I, kind of ask him, hey, those 3 laptops that you said were ready, they ready? And I believe that a response is something to the effect of, well, like I said, I'd have them ready by 3. And it's like, well, I thought I said that was ridiculous. But I'm not the,
right.
But I'm not the boss, so my word doesn't even mean anything here.
Right.
Right. So fast forward to like 3:10, and I get the laptop, and I pull up the checklist, and I'm going over it, and I don't have a checklist for the actual onboarding process to check the accounts and things like that. And I ask him, hey, where's that checklist? I got that saved somewhere else. And I don't know why you'd save it somewhere else. Why do you have it say somewhere else? Because you didn't fill it out. That's why. And so he's like, I'm totally going to go transfer that and copy it into that. So both checklists have checks next to everything. This is good because this means he did every step. He checked off every step and everything's done. Right? Well.
Oh, right.
So
No.
there's a spot on the onboarding checklist to make sure that the desk is set up. And in the instructions, if you read the details of that step, it's that make sure that the desk is set up with 2 monitors mounted to monitor arms, a docking station with a power supply and a power strip, and power cords and monitor cords for the monitors hooked up to the docking station, a mouse, a keyboard, a network cable, and a telephone. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. And I walked downstairs to the and we got an email. In my hypothetical world, I'm very thorough about the whole process of how this company runs. Because if you're going to imagine a job in a company, you may as well imagine, all your employees and all the people that are there. So in my imaginary world, an imaginary email came in Friday morning with the desk assignment in the building that this person be sitting at. And it came to the whole department. So we all saw this email came in. So I pull up the email. I see what desk. I walk to the desk. The desk has a dock. The desk has 2 monitors. The desk has a mouse. The desk doesn't have a phone for the person. The desk doesn't have a keyboard. Now, this in itself is not the end of the world, and this isn't something to get pissed off at. How dare you not set up a keyboard, But...
Yeah, but it's a laptop, right?
But we set up docking stations.
Right, but he could always use the keyboard that's built into it.
Right.
Wink,
but
wink.
Nudge, nudge, yeah. But the thing that's troubling to me is that this hypothetical guy, Agent Zero, he didn't walk over to this desk. He didn't set up this desk. He didn't check this desk. But he checked off a spot on the checklist that said that he did. This is problematic. I mean, what's the point of a checklist if you're just going to check everything off without actually verifying you're doing the things as you're checking?
When you hit that checkbox, that means you did it and you're signing that off.
When you're submitting checklists that have things checked off that you
might
didn't
not have your signature on it, or does it?
What? No, it's all digital.
Right.
But it defeats you may as well not have a checklist if you're in a position that the way you do it results in you checking things off that you didn't do.
Correct. Right. I totally agree. Totally logical.
And in my
this isn't irrational at all, right?
Right. And in my imaginary world, this is like the millionth time this guy has done something like this.
Ooh.
So,
good.
And when this happens, I'm really trying hard to understand this guy. I mean, I created this fictional character in my universe. I really want to get in his head and understand him. And so I imagine me walking up to him, and I start with a simple question. Hey, did you set up the desk for that new hire? And he answers, well, we didn't get the desk assignments yet. And there's 2 problems with that statement. Problem number 1, yes, we did. Problem number 2, even if you think we didn't get the desk assignments yet and you think there's a legitimate reason you shouldn't have set up the desk, why did you check off the item on the list suggesting that you did set up the... And I asked him this question. I said, well, you checked off on the checklist that you did it. Did I? Yeah. You're checking off items on your checklist that you're not doing. Silence. And he kind of goes back to just, looking at his screen doing his work. So I turned around and walked out of the room. So that's the type of things I've been dealing with in my hypothetical imaginary world. I don't know why I'd imagine a horrible world like that, but that's I don't know. Brian, you ever know guys like that? Or imagine guys like that?
Well, I worked with one guy that refused to do a checklist, and there were errors, and therefore we tried to institute one. It was kind of annoying that he just thought he was too good to do use a checklist.
Mm.
Hey, a checklist is just a standard method. It's not a big deal.
No,
so just use it.
Now, I used to be that guy, but I wasn't making the errors.
No, it was before you.
Yeah,
it wasn't you.
But
It
well,
was
when
a different imaginary guy.
I-
He was
I-
a really nice guy,
yeah,
but he refused to use the checklist.
well,
He couldn't see the purpose of it.
I used to be there, and then I started working with idiots, and no, that's
Exactly. See, that's unfortunately. I hate to say it, but that's why there is a checklist.
yeah. Well,
It is for the idiot, or to be fair, let's say you're working on something and you get totally distracted. You never get distracted from your job, right?
no, not me, not me.
Not ever.
No,
I mean,
no.
but some people have other things that they're responsible for, and they get distracted, so things don't get done completely. But if you're religious about using the checklist, okay, I just did this, check it off. I just did this, check it off. Oh, I got interrupted. You come back and you
Yeah.
look at the checklist, see where you were.
Now-
Oh, there you go. Bing, go to the next item.
Well, the thing is that when I started at Tharco, there was a checklist, and it was the most outdated, useless checklist that ever existed.
Sure.
And I really, one of my things that I absolutely hate is being asked to make like instructions or documents or processes. That's not my strong point. That's not what I do. And I really almost feel like, anytime I'm tasked with that, saying something to the effect of, that's not what you hired me for. You hired me for my technical abilities.
Right.
I am not a writer. I am not good with words. That's why I do radio and broadcast and talk all the time. No,
Right,
that's
right.
I am not good at writing. I am just not good at it
Yeah.
at all.
Actually, I'm not good at writing either, but I was in a job where they just, basically threw on this documentation project on me for documenting their products that would go out to the users. So, I kind of scribbled them up. Fortunately, there was a person, and I forget what the role was, like in accounting, that had an English background, English major background, It was really good at the stuff. Now, she had absolutely no idea what the technical stuff was about. Didn't understand it at all.
So between the two of you,
But there was so when I would put something together, she would look it over, correct any, English or spelling errors, but also kind of going through it to see if she understand what it was trying to do. So she was kind of like the dummy, tester that would see if the instructions made sense. Because if she couldn't make sense of it, then how would our users make sense of it?
Right. No, that makes sense. That's
It was the perfect combination.
Oh,
I liked
yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's a perfect solution. But tasking me with writing a doc. So when my Fong's like, I want you to make a check, follow the checklist. Well, the checklist is way outdated and useless. It's a waste of my time. And I simplified that process at Tharco. I came in and built from scratch a brand new. I mean, because when I got there, I think they were manually building each laptop one by one, install Windows, install the software, which is just so archaic, outdated, and inefficient. And I came in from a job where we were using Semantic Ghost, and I was familiar with the existence of Windows Automated Installation Kit, and I was just like, let's build a process that's a little bit more modern.
Yes, so
and,
you had an image to install.
Right. So I started the imaging process there, and we do imaging at my current hypothetical situation, because of course I'd imagine we do imaging, but things have become even more complicated than that these days. I mean, it's a larger company that I imagine in my head, and so there's you got to have the accounts created a certain way, and Tharco really was a lot more organized with their permission groups and their distribution groups. This company is ridiculous. Anyone can at any point in time request any kind of distribution group that they want, and it'll get made, because that's how I roll in my imaginary world. No company would really run
And
this
that's
way.
your rules rather than, and that's the company rules that anybody can do that?
That's the company rules that I
Wow.
totally anyone can create anyone can request a distribution list and it'll get made. Like, and I'm not saying this is a bad distribution group, but this is an example of how a distribution group can add complications. Like, someone decided to make a group of the women of the company. So, kind of a, what the women are doing in the business place. And, this way, like once a month, the women can get together, the women of the company, and talk about what the women of the company are doing. And not every woman that works for the company is automatically a member of this group. It's kind of a, if you want to be in, you can be in. And I'm not sure if guys are not allowed to join it. I don't think any guys have tried to join it, but it's a distribution group that goes out to.
Was the CFO or CIO aware of this?
Oh, everyone was aware of this. They would meet in the CAF periodically. Yeah,
but I knew it was related to this distribution group.
Yeah, everyone knew this distribution list existed, and everyone knew that they met periodically,
Bizarre.
talk about what the women were up to in the workplace.
I wonder how the legal guys would think about it.
No one had a problem with this. No one has a problem with this. I mean, as far as I know, the distribution group still exists. It might not be used so much anymore because a lot changed. Because I did have to seriously downsize my company at some point when I was thinking out this hypothetical situation.
Yeah.
Because it was too much to keep track of. And that was a sad day. That was a sad day when I was, laying off tons and tons of hypothetical people in my
right.
But, also generally speaking, if a supervisor wants to request an onboarding, they'll set someone up with the same permissions as, let's say, Susie so-and-so. And let's say this new guy is going to be Mikey that's going to join. So you want to set up Mikey with the same permissions as Susie. And then you look at Susie's permissions. And Susie's a member of the woman of the company group. Well, obviously, you don't just blindly put Mikey in that group. So you can't just copy. And then there's, and then also Susie could have been at the company for like 10 years and transferred through, 3 or 4 different teams. So Susie might still have permission to a folder that's a part of this team that has nothing to do with her current job. So, and there's so many different permissions and so many different things. I have no idea what's what. I have no idea. So half the time, I have no idea what permissions I really want to give someone when I'm setting them up. And that's not when your IT department that's setting up group permissions for new hires has no idea what those permissions do and what permissions they really want to give or not give. That's clearly something has gone wrong. And that's the reality of my situation, and there's nothing I can do to fix it because it's stuff that's beyond my control. You'd think I'd have that kind of control, being that I created this whole universe and it's all hypothetical that exists in my head.
Right.
You'd think so, but no, that's not how my imagination works.
But some of that stuff that you imagine, actually you inherited, correct?
Yeah, I
didn't start from scratch. You just kind of sucked in this universe, and your goal is to improve it.
It's amazing what the human brain will do. If you want to imagine a situation that you get hired at a fictional company that's existed long before you even imagined it, your imagination doesn't need to know the whole origin story and the starting point. You could just have this middle point of what exists, and bam, I just inherited that in my head. So I don't know. Is this still funny, pretending that this is hypothetical and I imagined it all?
Oh yeah. No, I'm with it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll keep up the ruse then. So yeah, but we've gotten so far off track. so that's why we like to imagine that we're sword fighting by playing video game systems that let you flail your arms around with motion controllers.
Right.
Right. See, I totally
and then pretend that it isn't a case of mental illness.
Right. No. And so a long time ago, I said to Brian, I want to do a show about video gaming. And Brian said, a radio show about playing video games? And I said, yes. And we quickly realized that wasn't going to work, and we gave up on it. And we stopped talking about it. And then a few weeks ago, Brian said, hey, that Elgato capture device I bought, I finally figured out how to make it work. which was a big surprise to me because I thought this idea was dead as a doornail. So Brian wants the game, so this is his fault now. You like how I threw?
That's right. That's right. I figured we needed to do something.
Yeah. No, this is a good idea. Something different than tearing apart a song recording, anyways. Even if the next song up would be "Ramble On" by Led Zeppelin. So you could be listening.
Kidding.
Yeah, I got multi-tracks for that.
I want to do that. Yeah.
It's actually that was recorded in 8-track, so it's but there are a few parts that share tracks, so it's simple and straightforward. But it's I do need to lay it out and brighten up the tracks a bit because the dub was a little dull. But yeah, all right, we could do that one next show. I would say next week, but you tend to be gone every other week.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, how the folks?
Probably will. Folks are pretty good. They're settling in, but there's the car issue is a little bit insane.
Well,
I had a conversation early in the week with my dad to, kind of go, yeah, these people all say you shouldn't drive anymore, and I tend to agree. So he was nodding his head. Yeah, I understand. And then the conversation was over. He was going with it. The very next day, he talks about, getting this car that we moved to the house. And then yesterday and Father's Day, I called him from here, and he goes, yeah, I want to get control of the cars again. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, when we get back there, next week, we'll work on that.
So you got a week to make the cars disappear is what you're saying.
Well, they're at the house rather than at the assisted living place.
Right, but if you go back to the house and they're gone, oh dear, I guess you're just going to have to not drive. Problem solved. So you got to sell the cars before your dad gets back to the house and try to take control of them.
Of course, he doesn't have keys.
Ah.
In fact, I was a little worried that he'd get a friend to take him to the house. Of course, he doesn't have keys to the car or keys to the house. So it's kind of like, what's the point there of having...
Wait a minute. Have you kept track of every copy of the keys? I mean, he might have stashed a spare copy somewhere with his belongings that he packed.
There is one set of keys for the Chevy that we don't know where it is. But since the other car is blocking it, it ain't going anywhere.
That's okay. That's a good point.
So no, I'm not too worried about that.
Okay. All right. Well, you do know that blind people can drive in California, right?
Yeah.
You did know that?
Yeah.
I was not aware of this, and I was driving in there a lot of years. Why did no one tell me this?
Yeah. Now, apparently, his doctor sent paperwork to DMV saying, you know what, I'm thinking that he should be taking the test. The story goes is that one person said that they saw a form from the DMV addressed to my dad that says you need to come and take the test. I have not seen that form, so I don't know if this is true or not. There's this other piece of paper that said, oh yeah, you sent the registration money in for this car, and you came up about $80 short. So I went to the DMV and I dropped down the $80 so the car is fully registered. But I haven't seen that other form. So I don't know if that's really true or not.
Well, what I'm referring to is this is something that Emily filled me in on because, Emily would like to learn how to drive and only for emergency purposes. Because Emily is legally blind. Emily.
She is. Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah. She walks with a cane, and that kind of helps her. She can see. It's funny when you're a kid and you're taught about what blindness is, and the simple, basic child explanation is, blind is a person who can't see. You immediately simplify it to, You close your eyes, you can't see anything. That's what blind is.
Right.
Complete.
Put on a blindfold. That's what blind is.
Well, it depends on the blindfold. Some blindfolds let light through, some don't. And that's when you
Right.
get to blindness is much more complicated than that. In fact,
Sure.
a complete lack of vision at all is actually quite rare in blindness. And
Right. Right.
but like Liam has that. Liam, is completely, nerve damage. He sees black, but even then, that would require him to know what black is. So he doesn't even
Right.
see black. But that's often the way it's described. Whereas Damon can detect light. Like I go to Damon's house one time, knock on his door. He opens up the door and he comments like, "Wow, the sun's bright today." But it's just a light sensing. He can't actually see anything. He used to be able to see shapes and things. He used to have.
Right.
It was.
But even though shapes, even if you could see shapes, you could still be legally blind.
Right. Yeah, because like Emily, she reads off her computer screen, but she sets the font to be really large.
Right.
She walks around, she sees objects, but her vision is very low, and so legally driving would be a bad idea. But she does want someone to teach her to drive in case there's like some emergency, like, oh my God, my kid's going to die unless I get them to the hospital in 5 minutes. Well, I don't care how blind you are. You got some working vision. You're going to, get them in the car and try your darndest to get them there.
Yeah.
And if you have some...
Although it is probably better and safer to dial, in her case, 999.
Right. But
Right.
but still, you might run out of options to get to the point of the blind person needs to try to drive the kid to the hospital.
Now, about 20 years ago, my dad had a heart attack, and my mom put him in the car, and they raced off to the hospital.
Okay.
The really bad part of that scenario was
They got stuck in traffic?
they got stopped by at a train crossing.
Oh.
Now, if an ambulance was there, they could start CPR if needed, could monitor his heart rate, blah, 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 blah. I mean, he could have died in the car.
Right. Well, there's a lot of what ifs, woulda, coulda, shoulda
Right.
situations. Like there was one situation, and this is an example of the real problem that existed in Lincolnville, Maine, because Lincolnville shares a zip code with another town. And I don't know why this happened or how this happened. Both towns have their own post office, I'm pretty sure. But they both share the same zip code. And they both have streets with same names. Because
that's bizarre. So you could go to the right... Yeah, on the envelope you have the name and the zip code, and it could be two different places completely.
So here's the thing. Let's say I lived on 123 Fake Street in Lincolnville, Maine. And down the street a ways was 223 Fake Street in Lincolnville, Maine. And the other town that shares the zip code as Lincolnville also has a fake street. And they have a 23 Fake Street. Well, apparently in Lincolnville, that the address I lived at one point in time was 23 Fake Street. And down the street was 123 Fake Street. And then when somehow these two towns got to share the same zip code, it was decided to add 100 to all the street numbers on our street. So we went from 23 Fake Street to 123 Fake Street, and down the street went from 123 Fake Street to 223 Fake Street. Except the person that lived down the street was a dipshit who didn't change addresses on paperwork and documents, and
He missed the memo.
and committed illegal acts, and the police really wanted to talk to him. But the police thought that he was at 123 Fake Street. Hence, Gothard and I would be, every now and then, have a police officer at our door asking for some guy we'd never heard of that supposedly lives at 123 Fake Street. And
Bummer.
Yeah.
How absurd.
And it took us a while because subpoenas and court documents are showing up in our mailbox for this guy. We kept returning them as no such guy here. They knock on Grammy's door, and you have confused old lady like, I don't know who that guy is. Right. Sure you don't, Granny. Where are you hiding it? They knock on our door. Hey, you have any idea where this guy is? Hey, we've told, and like every time, oh, we'll take care of it. They never. Well, finally, a lady cop showed up one morning at 9 in the morning on a Saturday. And, Seth, he's not shy. He don't care. She's lucky he grabbed a robe. And so he opened up the door in his robe and was, disgruntled guy in robe. No one's here by that name. You want 223 Fake Street down the road. Could you please stop coming here? And apparently Gothard answering the door in his robe to the lady cop somehow got some note put on there, stop going here. And that was the last of that. Apparently he was wanted for some kind of shenanigans burning down a tree farm. But that was the rumor anyway. No, I'm kidding. That's an inside joke. You know about the tree farm. We had a phone number that used to belong to a tree farm.
Right.
Every year around Christmas. Phone ringing off the hook, people looking for that damn tree farm. But those are cute shorts. Anyways, where was we? What was the whole point of this? She walked by in those shorts and I just lost track of my thought.
Totally distracted. Right.
What? Oh, you barely. Oh, they can barely see you. There's only 3 people watching.
It's just a flash through the doorway.
Yeah, Brian didn't even see them. He couldn't even tell you what patterns on them.
Yeah, not even twice.
She's freaking out a little bit. I shouldn't have said anything. Don't worry.
No need to worry. No need to worry.
I should. If I bring up the camera replay and she sees how brief it was and in the background it was, she that'll totally comfort her, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was nothing. It was nothing.
It was. Yeah.
I think you were distracted more than I was, and your back is facing the door.
Well, I was looking at the preview, and I know what those shorts look like. So
right.
I've seen those shorts before. No, okay. I should stop talking. I should stop digging my grave.
That's right.
I'm not gonna.
You don't have a doghouse yet, right?
I'm not. I don't got room in the yard for a doghouse, so I got to be on my best behavior here.
Oh. Okay.
No, but I got the futon over here. But anyways, yeah. So basically, Seth had a story one time about this one guy that he works with that who was taking care of his father who was elderly, and morning came one morning that he was having some horrible attack and was in awful pain, and it was call the ambulance, get the ambulance out here, and the guy basically died in horrific pain while the ambulance was lost trying to find the address because the GPS was confused. So, I guess the point of the story is sometimes you don't wait for the ambulance. You're stuck at the train tracks. You would have been better off waiting for the ambulance. Sometimes the ambulance gets lost because GPS sucks.
Unfortunately, you really don't know the best way to go until the worst scenario happens.
Right. You got to really kind of go with your gut. Try to make the best choice that's for you. And, some people might tell you your odds are better waiting for the ambulance. But you know what? I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Right.
So if you're blind and you think driving's your best bet, right on. But not in Massachusetts, please. Or give me a heads up. But the point is that Emily has informed me that they have this thing in the United States that they don't have in Australia that she thinks is a horrible idea, but she's jealous that she doesn't have the option. But it is...
Putting kids in cages?
No, that's the Trump policy. For the record, when Brian and I talk about putting kids in cages, it was in jest, and we never thought it was a seriously good idea. And I'm actually a little horrified that someone actually took our idea seriously and turned it into national policy.
It blows my mind. It just totally blows my mind.
So
In fact, I used the idea of a person in a cage to one of the caregivers, actually the head nurse at the assisted placing. I was on the phone with them, and I suggested after this incident to put my dad in a cage, but that was before this whole
yeah
public thing came out.
we can't make jokes about that anymore.
I know
now.
it. Damn it.
It's sad that we in this day
I told
and
you
age.
about. Of course, you're talking about when I told my Fong to put her kids in a cage, right?
You've used that line many, many, many times. Like, I think we're
and
talking
it was
about.
funny, but now it's not funny anymore.
Right, we're
It's
talking about like
sorry.
when we go to the aquarium, they should put the kids in the cages so that they stop
Exactly.
getting in our way.
Right.
This is all funny because it was under. No one would ever take us seriously because who in their right mind? Well, apparently Trump thinks it's a good idea, and it's sickening. It's
See,
disgusting.
And the flip
It's-
side, though, is about 20 years ago. No, it's probably maybe closer to 30. It was okay to take your kids to like the mall and have them on a leash, and people were outraged by that. And I'm not sure I see that a problem in that. You don't have these kids running off and getting hurt.
It's real easy to be judgmental when you're not a parent, but then again, even some parents would be judgmental of that. And
Sure.
different parents, different parenting styles. I kind of like, you think a leash is a bad idea? Great. More power to you. You think a leash is a good idea? I'm not going to tell you how to raise your kids. Because there are plenty of valid arguments that can be made on both sides. I'm sure there are people that can really feel in their heart.
But you don't see kids on a leash anymore.
No.
Because I think there are too many people that object to it. The flip side is I've seen kids probably in the order of 5 years old that is being pushed around in a stroller. The kid's going to have to fucking learn and walk. Oh, but then again, you're the parent. You raise them. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I got to say.
I won't really be mad about that. I try not to be mad about it.
I gotta say, when I was 5, I was a bit jealous the stroller wasn't an option anymore because I'm there standing, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I don't want to be. When you're a kid, you have so little control over what you get to do. If parents want to go shopping at the hardware store, you guess where you're spending your day? In a hardware store.
Yep.
And then you got to stand around, and I just want to sit somewhere. And then they get pissy if you try to sit on the floor while they're trying to pick out the right screws.
Right.
Because you don't know where that floor has been.
Or sit on some merchandise.
Right.
Then everybody gets mad.
Right, yeah, or lean against something. Well, don't lean against that. You get
Right.
and there's your little brother got his old little seat to himself on wheels, getting pushed around, and it's like, damn, why can't I get that? I used to have that. That used to be me. Now I'm gonna stand around here.
7, 8 years ago, we went to the aquarium with my parents, and they were still doing pretty well. Although my mom really couldn't walk very far. So when we got into the aquarium, we asked them if we could have a wheelchair, for my mom.
Right.
And everything was cool. So we were pushing the wheelchair around, and then my dad decides that it's his turn. We didn't get one for you. If you wanted one, we could have gotten one. Anyway, the funny part of that is today, he really ought to use a walker or a cane, and he refuses. He and I, about 2 months ago, were visiting my mom in the hospital, and he was walking really slow, and I went by the security guard and says, "Oh, by the way, there's wheelchairs there. Are they for guests as well?" He says, "Sure, yeah, go ahead and take one." And my dad said, "No, I don't want that." He totally could have used it.
That's a difficult thing,
Yeah.
And speaking of people getting old, we should see if we can get an answer from Venison on the line here. So let's see. We'll try to give him a call.
Yeah.
Skype stopped making ringtone sounds on my computer, but it still works. So it is actually ringing without making. Just imagine that
The person whom
there
you're
you
trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the beep.
Hey, we're just gonna, get you fitted for a wheelchair because you're old, and right, Brian.
Yeah.
And we can't make jokes about putting people in cages anymore, so we won't put you in a cage. But we will fit you for a wheelchair. It's still, are wheelchair jokes still okay?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. But anyways, you're going to want to call in because we're going to start making fun of puppy play. So call us back.
Of course, let's see now. I have to update my cue card. Is pushing a guy that's in a wheelchair down the stairs, is that still funny?
Well, I mean, there's the old line that some people are like slinkies. They're stupid, but you just can't help but smile when you see one tumble down the stairs.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
There you go.
With or without wheelchair.
Now, if Trump starts to institute a policy of people who reach a certain age need to be pushed down the stairs to just, stop being a drain on society, then we can't make jokes about it anymore. And,
right.
Every time you think there's something that's so ridiculous, there's no way it could become a reality, Trump proves us wrong. So the sad thing is we very well may get to the point that Trump just wants to push old people in wheelchairs downstairs to kill them.
Of course, that trailer that he did for the North Koreans, was that real or was that just make believe?
The what?
That kind of that movie trailer.
Oh,
thing.
I didn't see the movie. I heard about the movie, and my understanding is it was real.
See, Colbert did it. I think Conan O'Brien did it with some additions.
Well, they might.
Trevor Noah did it.
Well, they may have made modifications. I mean, I would Google and get the real deal to confirm what reality from humor.
Yeah.
The sad thing is that it's getting to the point where you have to make less and less humor. It's.
Yeah, I mean, the sad part is, these writers for these shows are very lazy, and they let the jokes write themselves.
Yeah, well, I remember
watching what this guy does.
I remember when W won re-election. Actually,
Yeah.
I should say when W won election, because he was not elected the first time. He was appointed by the Supreme Court.
Right.
And so he only won one election. And I remember when he won the election, David Letterman had one of his writers come out to make a statement, and he actually made a statement to the effect of, thanking the American people for giving them another 4 years of easy work, because, with W, it was, and it was funny because, W was horrible, and he was the worst president that we ever had up until that point. But no one could imagine that you could get something a million times worse than W. But here we are with a president that likes to separate children from their parents and lock them up in cages. And the thing that's absolutely sickening and disgusting is that there are people that will still vote in favor of that. And I don't know how we've gotten to a point where our society is okay with voting in favor of that.
Now, one of the arguments I saw is, well, that was happening during the Obama administration, and I think it's true, but it wasn't a matter of positive policy from the administration, number one, and number two, it was relatively rare. Now you're talking about being a common feature.
Here's the thing. And I'm pure speculation here and completely biased. If this was something that was happening, and happening once is way too much, but if this is something that was happening and this came to light in the era of Obama,
sure,
Obama would have done something about it.
Probably. But the other difference is that Trump is actually driving it.
That's the thing. Trump is driving it. Trump's in favor of it, and Trump is using it to try to blame it on the Democrats.
That is a bizarre part.
I mean,
like, really? How?
The GOP's got the White House, the House, and the Senate.
Yeah.
How in the fuck do you pin that on the Democrats? I mean, that is... I get his argument. If the Democrats would have helped the Republicans pass the type of legislation that they want to pass, that would, nip it all in the bud and not even allow the situation to exist. But that is a very, very, very weak argument. Very weak.
But to complete my thought about this, that this was happening in the prior administration at a smaller scale, is that when we discover that it's become used as at a greater level, it should have just been stopped. Period.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Whether you're Republican or Democrat, I don't care who you want to blame for it. Just stop it.
I mean, this is the type of thing. It comes to light. You find out, oh my God, this is happening. You stop it. And like I said, I am fairly certain, in my biased opinion, Obama would have stopped it. Trump is doubling down on it.
It's like waterboarding. When that became known, then there were efforts to stop it. And basically it was stopped.
Except
although this idiot wants it to go again.
Oh, yeah. You do have people like Trump, and there are a lot more people that, you know, they are in favor of it, that they feel that torture, what was it called? Advanced interrogation techniques?
Right.
But torture gets you bad data. People will say anything to stop torture.
Absolutely. Forced confessions, right?
It serves
no purpose. That's what the
purpose.
Bad guys do.
It serves no purpose, because then you got to sort out fact from fiction when you force someone to give an answer.
Right.
Well,
how many POWs in Vietnam came back, or while they were there, or signed false confessions?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a lot of them did, and they would just immediately sign so that
wasn't
we say the pain would stop.
When McCain was being held as a prisoner, didn't one of the things that he did under torture start listing names of baseball players as people of interest or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I think there's something like that.
Would do a lot of things.
Yeah. I mean, you say whatever pops into your head that might stop it. You know, I guess the theory is that if you're under enough distress, you'll say the truth, thinking that the truth is more likely to stop it than making shit up. But even so, you probably threw a lot of shit in there, and then you got to sort out the fact from fiction. And I don't know. I'm not an expert on these things, but I think torturing is just wrong, and just based on the morality, who cares? If it gets you the data you want. I don't think it does, and even if that is an argument, that certainly doesn't make it any less wrong. But some people don't care about morality. They care about, getting their way.
Well, a lot of things do come down to politics and political power.
Right. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about games.
Yeah.
Oh, and a fun game. And like I said, I made reference to something called Puppy Play when I was leaving a message for Venison. Have you heard of this?
No.
Well, have you heard of Pony Play?
No.
Okay, I don't know how to describe Pony Play, but I know it's pretty involved and can be expensive. And it's one of these things that I think it started in the gay community and spread it to the straight community. It can involve putting on a tail, this type of thing that you kind of, plug, boom, and then you got a tail. And I think there were bridles you could put on, things like that, and kind of clop around like a pony and neigh. And that was Pony Play. But that could be expensive and rather involved. And so Pony Play is old. The new thing that's really popular in the gay community, and this is something that Seth brought to my attention, not from experience, but from pure ridicule because he thinks this is ridiculous. Puppy Play. And I'm going to read an article that I found online, and I just would like to give the disclaimer that everyone's into their own weird stuff, and I'm cool with that, and what places it of mine to mock what someone is into. But I do find it funny, and I'd like to give a disclaimer. I feel a little bad about the fact that I find this amusing and find this something to laugh at, but I mean no disrespect. And certainly I think we all have our weird things that other people will find funny and laugh at. So if we could all laugh at each other in good fun, there's my disclaimer. So I'm going to read this article. Last weekend, I was hanging out at the Cuff, the leather bar at 13th and Pine, when a man to my left pulled out a pink rubber ball. He held it up in the air, And around the patio, half a dozen guys suddenly dropped what they were doing and turned to stare. He swayed his arms a few times, the men in front of him following every move with their eyes. And then, with a quick flick, he tossed the ball in the middle of the crowd, provoking furious barks as they all clambered over each other, desperate to snatch the ball and return it to him, or maybe just retreat to a corner to blissfully chew on it. This was the scene at the monthly mosh held by Seattle Pups and Handlers, our local puppy play group. Surely you've heard of puppy play. It's surging in popularity among the gays, and if history is any guide, will be surging among the straights in 5 years when we moved on to something else. Let's be clear about this. Puppy play means role-playing as a dog, down on all fours and barking. And yes, it's weird. So there you go. I think I don't need to read the whole rest of this article. I think you get the idea.
I get the idea.
Puppy play.
I'm with you. It's a little weird.
But the vision in your head of a guy in the middle of a gay bar with a bunch of gay dudes standing around, pulls out a puppy toy, and all these grown men stop and stare, and you do this little "Who wants the ball? Who wants the ball? Who want?" and they're all grown ass men want the ball. I'm sorry, that's hilarious. That is pretty funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it's funny. Did I just snort there? I think I snorted.
Yeah, that's snort funny right there. A group of grown men barking, chasing after a ball.
Oh, that's bad.
I mean, who would have thought "Who wants the ball? Who wants the ball" would qualify as foreplay? But there you go. But you know, but that was Seth's angle, is that he would like to taunt people like this just for his own personal pleasure of walking to a club and pull out a ball and just watch them go nuts over this, and then just walk away like, man, how stupid was that?
Definitely.
Yeah. So I guess, you know. Well, you know, they do say that sometimes it helps to bring a ball with you to the bedroom. Or two.
Right. Got it.
Yeah. I need to work on the execution of that one. But, yeah. And speaking of fun games, anything you want to say about puppy play?
Not really.
No?
Kind of still a little bit dumbfounded.
These new things that you learn, do you share this with other people? Do you share these tidbits that I opened your eyes to?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. So are you gonna have a conversation with puppy play with one of your friends? Like, hey, I heard about this thing called puppy play.
I don't know. At this point, I can't imagine who would be interested in that.
No, I guess that would raise some raised eyebrows. Like, where are you hanging out that you've come across the term? This how did you hear of this? Yeah, sure. Some guy on the internet just told you about this. Right. Someone told you.
See, what you could do is, like, if you're visiting a person that has a dog, you know, you take the dog toy and, you know, explain that you're doing puppy play.
That's a different
and you kind of do the same thing with the dog, and, you know, and not let on that you're actually playing this other game.
Oh, well, that kind of becomes a bestiality situation if you're getting off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
Well, as long as you
we want to turn it in that direction.
No, because then someone breaks out the peanut butter, and it's all downhill from there.
Totally.
Ugh. No.
Oh, well.
That's animal abuse right there.
Right.
Yeah. Moving right along.
All right.
So
gaming, right?
we were totally gonna. I had the whole thing planned because Brian held up his driving wheel. He was gonna play Mario Kart, and I was like, "Hey, that works because we can network play Mario Kart. We could talk about the history of Mario Kart. We can compare Mario Kart for Super Nintendo to the Nintendo 64 one and the GameCube one and the Wii one. We could talk about the pros and cons, what we like, what we dislike, and we could just, do some driving around Mario Karting. But how do we make this work for people on the audio stream that are listening? And that's when I had the idea, well, if we got Venison on the line and Venison brought up the video to watch it, we could ask him to act as if he were a sports announcer to announce the race. And this could be a thing. This could totally be a thing that we would get other people to call in and watch and do the announcing so that people listening to the stream could be like, it's like listening to baseball on the radio. You have a good announcer. It's just like being there. I listened to someone on the radio, on a podcast, talk about if you really want to get into baseball, go ahead and turn on the TV, but mute the TV and turn on the radio and use the sound of the radio announcer with the TV instead of listening to the TV commentator, because the radio announcers are far better than the TV announcers.
Absolutely.
And so that is a little. Now, I'm not into baseball. I don't watch baseball, so I haven't done that. But if I were gonna watch baseball, I'd probably give that a try.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely. I think that's well known because I was aware of that whole thing as well.
So
listen to it on the radio. You get more of the action described rather than just some guy talking on TV.
Right. So, anyways, we've got our Wii's hooked up to our computers, and we've got our XSplit broadcaster relaying our video to the Hangout. And so, as you can see here, now Brian can't find his Mario Kart game. So
right.
he instead found his Wii Sports Resort game, which is kind of like Mario Kart, but without Mario or the kart.
Yeah, right.
And with sports.
Yeah.
So this is more.
And I have an airplane.
An airplane. Yeah, that works. Yeah. That works. And this is one of those games that requires a Super Wii mode, or you had to get the add-on to make it longer, or
right.
you could buy newer Wii modes that are like the length of the standard ones that have those features built in. And I have one of those, but that's synced up with the Wii U downstairs. And these malfunction so that the nunchuck doesn't work through them anymore. So I have to disconnect the Wiimote from this if I want to use the nunchuck.
Your nunchuck doesn't work with it?
My nunchuck works. My little add-on on the bottom here.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, mine malfunctioned, so the nunchuck won't work plugged into here. But if I take it off, the nunchuck works on here. So yeah, mine. I don't know why, but both of them did that.
Oh, I haven't had any trouble with that.
Yeah, it's a thing that exists. Some people have had that. But so I think what we could do is we can, just as an experiment, play a few games and compare our scores, because I don't think this game is net workable. So we have sword play, which is like puppy play but with swords. We got wakeboarding, which is like playing the keyboards with a bad digestive system. No, that's Rick Wakeman. Wakeboarding. We got frisbee. We got archery. We got basketball, table tennis, golf, bowling, power cruising, canoeing, cycling, and air sports. So what would you like to play with, Brian? And when are you going to bring yours up on your screen?
Yeah. Okay.
And you've gone full screen with yours. So what game do you think we should do? Brian is deep in thought, trying to decide what game to play.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot down this balloon.
Wait, what are you doing? Are you just following? Oh, I'm looking at my screen. Oh, you're playing the flying game. All right, he is shooting at the balloons. And no, he's zeroing in. He's zeroing. Oh no, he's missing. He's missing. He's missing. He got it. He got it. He got it. And bam, just got it at the last minute there. And we're going for the pink bubble, shooting at the pink bubble, and he's dodging to the right a bit, but he's going right for it. And bam, he made that pop. Look at all the colors. It's every color of the rainbow. Oh my God, he's upside down. He does the loop-de-loop. He's going to the right now. We are looking at the sky shooting bubbles left and right. Oh my God, I've never seen anything like this before. And now we're just kind of flying and whoa, he's in a nosedive. He's in trouble now. He better pull out of this here. And oh, he's closing in on some more balloons. Whoa, he just missed the ground there. That's some fancy maneuvering. And we're aiming for the cave. And oh my God, it's a tight fit right through the cave. And there he goes. And he's pulling up and he's up in the sky. There's another balloon. He's going to shoot for it. And he's coming around. It's a red balloon. He's shooting at the red balloon. He's got it. Got it. And there's another plane coming right for him. And he's is that another plane? I think it's another plane.
He was dragging the balloon along.
He's dragging the balloon along, but we're shooting at more balloons, and now we're nose diving. Oh, there's going for the ocean, and whoa, we skid a little bit, but we pulled it back up. Oh my God, this has been a close one here, and we're shooting at more balloons on the beach. Oh, we're coming in for a buzz the sand here, and whoa, they just missed the umbrella there. This is some fancy work here. I mean, we are just grazing the sand. Sand is flying up. We are so close to the ground here, and we got the green check. That must be good because it was green, and we're shooting at more balloons here. We're coming around, and let's see. There's a balloon attached to the car there on the road, and trying to come in on that, but that's not quite working. And we're nearly landing, but we're gonna go through the tunnel. We're chasing the car. We're going for this car. We're gunning right for him. And we shot something else to the side there. We got another green check through the tunnel. This is the island tunnel. This is actually a tunnel for driving, and we're flying a plane through it. This is some fancy flying here. And whoa, there's some tight fits here with this mountainous area that we are flying through. This is generally not recommended to fly through mountainous areas like this, but it's this is exciting stuff here. And there's another green check mark, and he's going for it, and he got it. And we are still flying around the mountain road through another tunnel, and then another green check. And we got 56 seconds left on the timer as we're counting down. How many more balloons can he get? We got 4 checks, 43 balloons, 45 balloons. I don't know what the record is. I don't know what a good score is, but we're down to the 45 seconds. We got to get as much as we can in the last seconds here of the game. And we're coming into the grassy river area, and there's a blimp that's got a bunch of balloons behind it. We're gonna shoot those. Get the balloons. Get the balloons. Oh, come on, you could do better than that. There we go. We're getting some more. And there's a green check above the blimp. It's the blimp. It's the blimp, Frank. It's the blimp. And he's coming in on the green check here. And you can't seem to get up to it. It's right there. There, you got it. You got it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. 5. Got to get a few more balloons here. We're up to 59. We 59 balloons, and we finished at 59. 5 points, best 28. 59 balloons, best 174. All in all, not that great of a round, but it sounded exciting. So yeah, it goes something like that. How do you think that was there, Brian? You think this works for radio?
Oh, works perfectly.
All right.
Now, I wonder if we can adjust the
adjust the what?
Adjust the sound.
Oh, not easily.
That
the problem.
sucks.
Well, the problem is you can turn on the sound so it'll send the sound, but it has to automatically do that for you. And then if you hear that sound will be delayed.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to hear that sound, and so you can't really monitor what's going out there unless you listen to delayed sound. And you basically have to set the software to send the sound and balance your mic with the sound. We could play. I figured the real sound is the announcing. We're gonna treat this like a radio announcer. Who cares about the game sound? We could get by with that this time. So I've switched it to my camera. So I am also gonna try. What is this? Air Sports? I guess I should do the same thing. What was it you were doing? Island flyover?
Yeah.
All right. So now it's your turn to do the announcing, and as I try to get some points here, and 59 balloons, I believe, is our record.
All right.
All right, and hey, you like my me?
Oh, yeah, looks just like you.
Yeah, I had a little more hair when I created that one.
Yeah.
But it was already balding. All right.
Humongous. You haven't gotten your other daytime set up.
No, I haven't played this one that much. I was mostly doing 100 pin bowling when I was playing this. All right. Oh, I should tighten my strap. All right. Points found 8 out of 80. So you found more points than me.
Right.
Although not in that round. All
well,
right.
I've completed
Now,
it. So.
I don't even remember what the controls are on this. I think I have to hold it like this and do this. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you just turn the controllers and the A button fires.
Oh, there.
Everything else is just the motion control.
Okay. All right. Well, I got to get in here. Oh,
bummer.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a misfire. Okay. Well, I'm not really seated well for my motion controls. Like, I'm not able to make him go down. He doesn't want to go down.
Oh.
That's because my bar is so high, I think. Oh, I see. I'm supposed to hold it like the stick, not like a wheel.
Right.
All right. Well, you're supposed to be doing radio announcing.
Yes, and you're firing away into open space, shooting at the hot air balloon. So far, we don't have any points because we haven't had any regular balloons that are on the top of that.
Oh, does that not pop?
The big thing doesn't pop.
Oh, I thought the big thing would pop.
Right. Yeah, you're going for regular balloons. All right, we're flying around the island here, and we got got the beach here. Let's get down to the beach, and maybe we'll see some balloons and some umbrellas. Do we see any? And we see some people now, and I don't see any balloons. Here's some balloons. Let's see. Oh, here's the info thing. Sugar Sand Beach. That's what this is called. All right. Now we got, I think, okay, so we got one object. The sugar, what do you call it, beach. So we're going to fly around a little bit and see what we can find. We're over the water, heading for the rocks. And we're back, and it looks like we're near the golf course. Oops, now pointing toward the mountain. And flying around the mountain now.
Man, there's no balloons.
Seeing if we can find some balloons. Watch for that tree. Get the top of the tree and we get that object. Yes, Lone Cedar is the second object that we found. Very good now. Okay, so swing around. Let's get some balloons now. We haven't gotten any yet. Okay, now if you swing around this pond, we'll get some balloons. There's the info. There's a... oops. We just lagged. I don't know what that happened. Ducking Lake we got. And we got Summertime Stone Castle. So now we have 4 objects, but no balloons yet. Let's try to find some balloons. And swooping down, we're going through the little tunnel here. Beginner archery. Oh, we crashed. And the children there were laughing at us. Okay, we're back up in the air again. Here we go. Heading toward the blimp. There's a whole bunch of blimps that are trailing the balloons, trailing the blimp. Let's see if we can get them. Keep firing away. We'll go to the rear of the blimp. You'll be successful.
You know what? I'm wondering if I got a version of the game that doesn't have balloons.
Yeah, there are no balloons there.
I must have
Wonder
this.
why.
Maybe this is the starter level where you just get the information and then they let you find balloons.
Oh, maybe you have to trip some more of the objects. Oh, like there's one. There we go. And we got the Palm Boulevard, and you crashed. Fortunately, you parachuted out in time to get back into the plane. And there we go. We got Cabana Hotel.
I crashed right into the hotel.
Yeah, right. But you got credit for the green check mark. Now we're flying around the beach. There's another info at the tennis courts. Oh, you're going to go through the tunnel. All right, go through the tunnel because now you've got good skills. All right, and there is the Island Loop Tunnel, and you crashed again. But they got you in the air again. How lucky. You got 4 objects and the top of the needlepoint spire. You have picked that right off. Good job. And you're up to 7 objects. Now, let's see. We are going to this shrine, I think it is. Mysterious Ruins. And we nailed it. Good job. All right. So what else can we find here? All right, there we go. Right at the entrance to the Mysterious Ruins. And we crashed again, but we parachuted again. We're really good at parachuting. Here we go. This is the little lagoon. Oh, and we're finished. Ooh. So you got 8. And that is your best score at this time. And you picked up some more things for your flight record. Excellent.
Oh, and now that I found 10 points, you have to find
now
10
you can
points.
pop balloons.
Now I can
Yes.
pop balloons.
Excellent. Good job.
That's why I was fighting. That was frustrating at first. I'm like, where are the balloons? I
yeah,
can't
no, I
believe.
thought, how could you possibly miss those balloons? Well, they weren't there.
Yeah. Yeah, which made for a boring commentary. He's looking for balloons. He's going to find some balloons.
Right,
We're
right.
looking
So
with...
do we want to just go again on you? You know, give you another chance?
do you want to just give me another chance? I mean, if I'm fine with that if you're okay with it, because that just...
Yeah, why don't we just go again because we're just getting warmed up.
All right, let's see. Here we go. Play again. Oh, I see. So now it's going to let me pop balloons this time. So it's like the same game, but now you have balloons.
Right.
Yeah, you can now pop balloons.
Woohoo!
All right.
And we'll actually look for them. Let's fly.
Yes. Here we go.
Hold the Wii remote like a paper airplane. All right. Now you can go fly low and fly under that bridge. Well, you're already heading toward that rocky shore and the beaches. Heading for that big pink balloon. Because when you fly through that, it releases a whole bunch of balloons. You're going straight at it, doing really good. Straight and level. There we go. Right toward the pink large balloon. It's like a weather balloon. You know, that's what the Roswell inspectors saw, a big weather balloon. There we go. We've popped some by flying through them. We've got 7 balloons already. Now, fly around and start shooting at them. They're above you, so fly directly up. There we go. Just keep shooting away. Shooting away. You're up to 13. 13, 14 balloons. 16, 19, 20. Good job. 22. All right, let's see if we can hit some more objects. Probably something worth doing because you want objects and balloons. Go through that little tunnel there. Yeah. Heading on down to it. Yeah. There, Camel Rock is what we're heading for. Through that tunnel and... Oh, and I guess we got the object because No, it didn't count it. Sugar Sand Beach. Oh, scooted on the sand. Did not crash. Good job there. Okay, here's the blimp. There we go, firing away at the balloons at the tail of the blimp. So far we're not hitting them. There we go. We got 29 now, 30, 31, 32. Looking good. Straight and level there. You're doing real good. 42 now. 43. Oh, excellent. Excellent. And now you got those windmill farms. You want to go down and see if there's any balloons or...
I was going to go for that big green thing.
Oh, the big green... Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh, yeah, that's another... It's very similar to the pink one.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah, you should be able to fly through that and release a whole bunch of balloons and count up a whole bunch. The candle. Okay. Okay, there we go. We're up to 54 balloons. Now, zip around. Blast away at those balloons. 62, 65, 66. Excellent. Very good. Take another pass? Yes. Yes, very good. 72, 75. Almost sound like an auctioneer, right?
Do I hear 75? 75,
yeah,
75, 75,
yeah,
75, 75,
okay. Now we're off to something else. Okay, you got a minute and 30 seconds to go. So see what else you can... what else you can nail. I think there's going to be... there's some balloons around the town and some objects you can pick off. There we go. 78, 81. Yeah, oops, you just crashed. You've been flying pretty good this time. Was that your second crash?
Yeah, I think that's our second crash this round.
Yeah, that's not bad. So there we go. You got the Queen Peach.
And there's my third crash.
The boat. There you go. All right. And another object. And pull up real quick. Yeah, okay, so that's the starboard harbor. Yeah, we're looking good. We're at 84 balloons, which is good. Okay, there's a car going. He's dragging a balloon, so if we can nail that one. Boom, got it. 85. And then we're going through the Coliseum. Swordplay Coliseum. It's hard to get out of there, and you crashed. And there he's in the parachute again. Now he's back flying. Okay. Come down low against this boat. See if there's anything we can shoot at. No. Move away from there. There's another object. Are you... Oh, basketball card. I'm not sure that you got that. And the fountain. Oh, and you've finished.
There we go.
All right. So you got 4 objects and you got 89 balloons. And
isn't there a song? 89 enough balloons. No, that was 99.
No. Okay, well, you're not there yet.
Not at 99 yet.
So go to the next and it should show you the total number of objects you've hit. So you got 3 new objects, which is good.
Yeah, not bad.
Good. Yeah.
There we go.
Right.
All right. So I think it's your turn to play a game.
Okay, I will switch me over to switch this guy on.
And if you would like to be a video game announcer, you can Skype in an NHB Live and play the role to either Brian or I. And you can even pick what game you would like to moderate us. This is totally a bit that's going to totally be a thing. And there's only one person viewing us at this point, so I don't think it's going over too well. But we're still working out the details here. Maybe you'd rather hear us narrate a puppy play session, but I don't see that going well. But Brian is looking at his menu, looking at his options. And Frisbee's very much like puppy play, but I don't know about that one.
The question is, can I silence the bloody...
And Dune has sent me a link to Olesia, who is the official Russian pole dancer of the Dune and Bob show. Oh, Brian, have we introduced you to Olesia? We might have to link you at some point. She's very talented. So we are waiting for Brian to figure out the intricacies of the menu portion of the game. Now, some people think that this is the simple part and doesn't even count as part of the game. But really, a good game starts with good menu play. I mean, you really want to get in there strong and confidently pick your selection and, hit that A button while hovering over the right game. I mean, if you're not feeling it with your menu selection, that just sets a whole bad tone.
All right.
Okay, so Brian found what he's looking for.
The volume, the sound.
Yes.
Just turn the damn thing off. All right. But you can hear me still, right?
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
Good.
Oh, so your sound came on in your head.
Well, the sound for the game is off.
I see.
So,
so you're going to do more air sports. You're going to do...
Yeah, I thought we'd just continue to do the same.
This has been working good.
Yeah, it's been fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Wants me to set the thing down
wants you to calibrate. Got to do the calibration.
Yeah.
Good game means good calibration.
Absolutely.
If you have a bad calibration, you're going to have a bad game. And
stick with daytime.
It's still day. It's still day. We're going to do some day flying. And it's a beautiful, bright day here in the virtual island of balloon finding. And we're going for takeoff. And we are up in the air. A little bit of cloud, but a very clear view. And there are some balloons to be found today here on the island here. And we're shooting, and we got some boats. We got some balloons on the boats there, and we got a checkpoint here, a little item here, the Queen Peach. And we've grabbed the Queen Peach, and we're shooting at more balloons. We've got 2 balloons and 1 object so far. So we have started, and numbers have started accumulating. So we're going, there's the blimp, it's the blimp, and we're shooting at the back of the blimp there. We got a bunch of balloons on the back there that's prime for the taking, prime for the picking, and the numbers going up. We're into the teens, and we've broken 20. We have broken into the 20s at 22, and of course there is the object on top of the blimp that we could grab to add to our object score for this round. And we're coming in on that object. We're closing in on it. We are closing in on it. We're over the blimp. We are hovering over the blimp here. And there we go. We are now up to 2 objects, 22 balloons. It's 2s all around. And we are going towards the bridge, but we're stealing away from the bridge towards the... And now we're steering towards the bridge. And we're going to go... Are we going to go under the bridge? We're going to go under the bridge. The object was above the bridge, but we're going... Whoa! That was a close call.
Action.
Yeah. He just... Oncoming plane... just barely missed him. That was a close call there. But we are now...
nailed his balloons.
We nailed his balloon, and we got people holding balloons on the field here, and we're coming in at them and close to the ground, and we grab the runner's circle object, which is where diehard runners meet up here before their daily run. But we are still flying around looking for some more balloons to shoot at, and we've come to the Swordplay Coliseum. We got a balloon. We got the object. So we are now well into our 30s. At 36 balloons and 4 objects. And we are coming in on the town here. That's the bowling alley. We didn't get the object, but we buzzed the bowling alley. There's another balloon there. And we had a crash. We had a crash, our first crash of the game. But we're back up in the air now. And we're coming in at the bowling alley again. And we got another balloon here. We are approaching 40. And we're flying through the roads here, twirling around. This is some fancy flight work that we got going on here. And we are coming in. How have you not crashed yet? Well, you did actually. But we coming in to the runner circle. We already got that object though, but we got to, going for some more balloons here. We are up to 43 balloons now. And there's the big green ball. We're looking at the green ball. I think we're looking at the green ball. Are we looking at the lighthouse?
We're going for the lighthouse.
Going for the lighthouse is what we're going for. Because, one fine morning, we're going to buzz that lighthouse. And there we go. We got the candle. The lighthouse was mistakenly built at twice the original planned size. And we burst the big green bubble to release a bunch of balloons. And so now we're flying around and coming back around, and bam, we are going to get those balloons there. For bam, bam, bam. We are up into the 60s now. We have jumped right through the 40s, 50s, into the 60s at 67 balloons and 5 objects. And we got, we're nearing the 1.5 minute mark left on the timer here, and we have reached the 70s. 75 balloons have now been burst, but we still have a ways to get to our goal of 99 Luff balloons. And although they come in many more colors than red, but we're still we're flying around now, kind of, cruising altitude here, looking at a hot air balloon. Not that we could do much with that, but we are looking at a hot air balloon. We are down to a minute. How is this last minute going to go? That is the question here that we are all waiting to find out. As we desperately seek areas with more balloons. But we seem to be not seeing many balloons.
Before we run out of time.
Oh, that's a big blue balloon you're heading for. It almost blended in with the water, but you had a good keen eye there. We're coming in for the close here. And at 33 seconds, we got a whole lot of balloons to shoot now that we burst that right open. And we are looping around, try to get our balloons in range, and we are up in the 80s. You are now tied with me at 89, and you reached the 90s. You reached the 90s. We have a new record here on this show here. 96, 97. We're down to 10 seconds. Can we get those last two? Can we break 100? We broke 100. 102, 103, 104, 5, 6, 7, 107 balloons.
Yeah,
that was
five objects.
Yeah,
And
not bad.
107.
And were any of those objects new objects?
Actually, I have all the objects already. So.
There is.
My best is 28, so I am not there yet. That's a lot of work to get 28 points.
And your best pop balloons is 174.
So yeah, I'm just getting warmed up.
You've done some fancy planning in your day. Anyways, right. Now we're gonna come back to my screen here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna Dune sent a link here, and I realized I don't think you're quite familiar with this, and so I think I want to introduce you to something fancy here. Because on the Dune and Bob show, we have an official. We have designated the official pole dancer of the Dune and Bob show, and I'm going to I want to do screen capture over here, and there she is. That right there is the official Russian pole dancer of the Dune and Bob show, and I can't seem to get it to here we go. Now that takes talent right there. Are you speechless right now? And check out that smile.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So you can see why we have decided to adopt her as the official pole dancer of the Dune and Bob show.
Right. What strength, what agility, what grace.
Yeah, that is... I could commentate on that all day long, even though it's just a, 20-second loop. So that is... but she's got a Twitch channel. Alessia Buletka is her name. and she is amazing. And yeah, she's got a lot of videos here. So there you go. We totally plugged her channel. We love her channel. We love her videos, and we you know what? This put things in a whole new light. I now understand the desire to collude with Russia. I'd totally collude with that.
Absolutely.
It's still treason, but
Sure.
I understand the motivation.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got my game screen up here.
So
And
do you want to continue flying, or do you want to try something different?
well, what do you, as announcer, what do you think? You want to keep warming up on the flying, or do you want to see what else we could announce?
I can go either way.
Oh, that's what she said. Yeah.
Right.
You know what? I am not very good at wakeboarding, and I think that's a good announcing type of game. And
Right.
so let's try wakeboarding. Because that basically is like swinging back and forth, I think, and waves. And now I've only got beginner on this, so and I haven't done this in a while. And my best score is 327 points. I don't know if that's good. My guess is not. All right, so I gotta hold my remote. Oh, like this with two fists. I got a double fist away. What? All right, we got 2 minutes on the timer.
1, 0, start. All right, here we go. We are off, and we are hitting the wakes and taking a jump. We got 12 points for that, and I don't know how many points. I couldn't see it. Single digit. Another good jump and 9 points. Take a turn there, 15 points, and another good jump, 17 points. Excellent. And a good splash, and another good splash. I didn't see any good points. Oh, there was some points. It was like 11 points or something. 18 points. The technique is picking up real good. Yep, just going left and right across the wake, taking those jumps. Yeah, we're up to 167 points. That's excellent. Another jump, and we're up to 189. Plus 31 points. Very good, very good. 220 points. 246 points. I think you're breaking your record this time. You got over 50 seconds to go. And let's see. There's a good jump. Did we? Oh, there we scored. 260 we're at now. Looking pretty good. 40 seconds to go. 278 points. Here's some really good jumps over these waves. Boom. There you go. 295. Let's get another couple of good jumps in there before we're out of time. 295 it is. 309. Very good. Very good. 17 seconds to go. 327 points. There's another good jump. 347. 7 seconds to go. You gotta do this. 3, 2, 1, 0. Finished. Looking good, my friend.
I don't know how to do like fancy tricks with that. I just swing back and forth. But at some point he did a little flip, but I'm not sure how I made him do that.
Right. But 362 points, a new record for you.
Yeah, it is. That is a new
Excellent.
record. I don't know if it's a good record, but it is a new record.
Right. Well, it's an improvement.
Yeah.
Always go with the improvement, right?
Yeah,
In fact, they show your chart. Looks like this is the second time you've played.
Yeah.
So,
So
the
my
chart,
best-
you're off the charts.
My best game out of 2.
Yes.
It was not enough to unlock anything, but I'll take it.
Right.
Well, I think now you need to try a wakeboarding.
Yeah, I certainly will. Okay, so
All right.
switch me off, switch that on.
All right, I'm going to switch the camera over. I lost my. Oh, here we go. There's your screen. There we go. All right, so we are getting back to our menu here. And remember, a good start means a good, confident menu selection. And there we are. We are in the wakeboarding course. We are getting the boats ready, fueling up the engines, calibrating the controller, and we will get ready to get off, because you got to get suited up and strapped into the wakeboard. Wind.
I have a
wind very
level, but I'll go with beginner.
Wind, something that's very important to take into consideration when waking. And you really got to make sure that you're wide awake. And
my best is 748. 748 points.
Also known as like twice as much my score.
Right, but I've probably played a bit.
Yeah, I just played a lot of 100-pin bowling.
Okay, so you hold the thing sideways, is that
Yeah,
correct?
you have to double fist it. And we are off, and we are off to the right and over the. All right, so we got a little hop there, and a higher hop. We're in the warming up phase here. We got a few hops back and forth here to get some easy starter points here. But right off the bat, we are already 40 points in here, and we're jumping. We get some good air on these jumps as we're going back and forth here. It's nice weather out here today, I must say, and we're doing a little bit of swinging back and forth without hopping. But there's a hop, but some of these hops are not earning points. And if I had another commentary I'd turn to here that was an expert on this is where I'd ask him. So what's the difference between a point and not point jump? But we're getting some good jumps here. Whoa, that was a 45-point jump right there. That was a little twirly loop-de-loop there, and we're getting some quality jumps here. We're getting some serious air, and we are already up to 238 points on this round here. This is a good round for Brian. Brian's been practicing. This season has been a good season for Brian here in the wakeboarding. He's certainly doing better than Gators is on his game. And but we're right now. I don't know what he's doing. He's doing a little, but there he goes. There's a jump. There's another jump, and we are 269, 293, and we are just jumping up the points here. And but we kind of stalled out here just under 300. But can we cross the 300 point? I don't know. We are there. It goes 310. We have reached the 300 point now. But his best, he has beaten 700. Do you think today is going to be an 800 day? I don't know. Today might be Brian's day to beat it, but not today because we are down to 7 seconds and we are still only at 336 points. But maybe we can get one last good jump here. Here he goes. And it's a 16-point jump. We finish at 352. All in all, not Brian's best day. But it's still early in the season. We still have room for improvement here. I would not count him out just yet in this season. And back to you, Bob.
I've done twice as good then. I've definitely done better.
Yes, that was not your best round.
Now that graph makes no sense at all.
Well, every time I don't think your graph will actually slide you down. It's more of an accumulative graph.
Oh, maybe.
So you hopped up, but you hopped up less than you've hopped up in the past.
All right. So, you want to try something different?
That sounds like a good. Maybe we'll go different. We got to find something that's our speed. We got to keep this interesting. I mean, we got 15 minutes left here to run out the clock, so we may as well. And I'm realizing I probably should put a little me in the corner or something like that. Because we could get fancy like that.
Sure.
All right, so I'm strapping myself into my controller here. And what's a good solid game here? Man, I don't know. Bowling would be boring. Archery is difficult. You know what? Maybe a little sword play. I mean, you can give a good narrow. I don't know. Should we do a duel or should we do a speed slice? I like speed slice, but I don't know that that's going to narrate very well. So maybe we'll try to duel it. All right, let's see how good I am at dueling.
Just sword play.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we're just trying things out, right?
Right.
All right, here we go. Yeah. Start, holder, press A and B. Okay. So it's Gators against Sarah. Round 1. Point the remote to the screen and press A. Fight! All right. I don't see any scoring and how that works. But Gators has got the blue sword and Sarah has the red. That kind of look like lightsabers. And they're swinging their swords back and forth. You see a bunch of bangs. Do you see any scoring, Jonathan?
I'll try to knock her off the platform, and I got her on the edge.
Oh, yeah. Good job. Good job. On the edge. 10 points. Splash. Round 1 is over, and Gator takes it. Little replay on that. You see Sarah flying off the platform into the water. Good job, man. All right, round 2 begins. Ready. Hit the A button. Bingo. All right, fight. There we go. Couple of slashes from Gators. Couple of good hits. Whack. And so they're both still working in the blue. Oops, looks like Sarah took the advantage. And now Gators got back and knocked her right off the platform. You just got mad at it. Just boom.
Boom. That's right. That's how we roll.
Right off. And splash down. You won. This is best out of 2. Best out of 3, I mean.
Yeah, 2 out of 3.
Two,
so
you win.
Yeah. Is that your alarm? I think.
And I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah. But Brian's got an alarm going off, and he's trying to find where the beeping's coming from.
Oh, I see. It's the.
It's. What was that all about?
I had a timer on the remote sensor, and that was saying, "Hey, it's about ready to time out."
I see.
Okay, so I got to
So
turn
let's see.
my game thing on again.
There we go.
Okay, so sword play it is.
All right. So now Brian has decided that he's going to go in for a duel here. And this is the start of the season. And Brian almost went all the way last season with sword fighting. But at the finals, he choked. But this could be his year. And I think we're going to see what Brian is made of right here today. And this should give us a good idea of what we're in for this season. And we are getting ready to see the players come out onto the battleground. And now, as we know, the middle is blue, the edge is red, so that helps us give a good play-by-play of who's where. And plus, we got blue versus red. And so Brian approaches his opponent, and the stance is being made, and we are doing a little bit of practice here right now to review our stances. It's always good to do a little practice in before you actually start. And so our players are now approaching the center, ready to go. And they are getting the stance. And we are ready. And we go to the middle. And there we go. Brian comes in with a few slashes. There goes a few more slashes. And he gets it. And he comes back. And we are got the edge there. And bam! Brian comes in for the kill. Round over.
guy goes right over the edge. Actually,
Yeah.
what's his name?
I didn't catch it. Otherwise, I would have used it. But we now come to round 2. We come to the middle.
Oh,
We
Ryan.
are ready.
It's Brian versus Ryan.
Brian versus Ryan. And we are getting ready and fight. And Brian comes in and slashes Ryan. And whack, right to the edge.
Man,
And Ryan's right
just
in.
nailed
It's a
it.
new record. I think this is Brian's season. I think this is Brian's year. He's starting strong. In he goes.
Splashdown! I win!
Ryan went right into the drink.
Loser! Alright, let's see what the score is. 100.
So, and this is the first time you played this.
Okay.
So you got 100 points.
Interesting. All right, how many points did you get? I forget.
I was. Oh, you know what? I didn't hit the button to finish. I'm still smiling at the screen. So let me bring mine back up here so we can find out. I picked up 20 points there, bringing me up to 532.
Yeah, interesting.
Well, we are nearing the end of our evening here, but I think we can come in for another round of something. And, I noticed that my cycling game says new. And so that means there's something new on cycling, and I don't remember playing cycling, so I don't know how I get something new there. But road race is the new thing here. So let's, this is kind of like giving the play-by-play of the, the Tour de France. Oh no,
yeah.
You know what? I
Oops,
can't.
nunchuck.
And I can't get a nunchuck to work with this, so we have to back on out of there. I'd have to go get my new controller that's being used with the Wii U to make that work. So, you know what we're gonna do? That requires a nunchuck. Bowling would be really boring to narrate, even though that would be fun.
Well, we could try archery. That might not be all right. That might be okay.
Oh, that requires a nunchuck.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, you gotta do kind of like a finger thing.
Yeah. Right. Bummer. Or bowling. Does that require a nunchuck? Bowling?
No, not at all. All right, we'll try to do a quick 100-pin game. You've played 100-pin bowling, right? It's absolutely crazy.
Sure.
So is that a crazy bowling alley right there, or what?
Dang. All right. Oh, I see. You got your camera there, so I can see you with the action. That's a good idea. Strike! Holy moly, you're good at this.
100 pins. Strike.
Unbelievable. You are on a roll. Which is appropriate since it's bowling. Okay. Once again, nice release. Ooh, you're going to leave a few bolt pins standing. Yeah, you're leaving 3 pins, including the front red pin. So you get 97 points for that round. And you cleared this off nicely. So you got a spare. So a strike and a spare to start off the game. That's excellent. Here we go. Oh, you got lucky. You left 2 pins standing. He's got 98 points. Will you get the next spare? Makes it look easy. Right. Perfect. Perfect. You got a second spare. You were right. This game totally is insane. Here we go, and we left two pins standing, but they're not exactly close. If you hit the right of the first pin, it might hit the second. And we'll try. Oh, beautiful job. Beautiful. So we got another spare. With a very nice split. Okay, we're up for another. And here we go. Leaving one pin standing, 99 points. Can we get that spare? I think he's going to make it look easy. Here we go, and it's knocks it right off. Totally knocks it right off. There we go, 99 points and a spare on that one. And here's another roll, and there we go. We got a strike. Excellent job. You look like you know what you're doing. Every single pin just fallen to the ground. And here we go again, and it is a... Oh man, that's really bad luck. We got 94 pins, and the ones that are standing are pretty much scattered around. Can we get lucky and knock them off? If you hit the right pin, maybe you can do it. Nope, you only knocked off two. So this is the first square, or what do you call that?
Frame.
Frame. There you go. First frame that you didn't get a spare or a strike. You left 4 pins standing. But still, you're doing an excellent job. And here we go again. And we... There we go. We left 4 pins. Two groups together. If you hit the right pin, you can knock off the pair easily and hopefully knock off the other ones. Ooh, just missed. So you left 2 standing. That's a bummer. So that's a 98. And we go again. Ooh. Oh, that was very interesting. It left 2 pins standing, though, right next to each other, so this should be easy. 98 pins just went down. Here we go. And, oh, perfect. Perfect. I couldn't have done it myself better. You're doing a very good job here, man. All right, and we are going at it.
Oh!
Again, oh, only there you go. There were 4 pins and then 1 fell, so it's 2 pins together and then a 3rd pin off to the side. So if you hit it just right, you can take all 3. You've got the skills for it, but
Field goal!
Totally missed. It's 0 extra pins, leaving 3 standing. So that's a 97 for that frame. Total of 1679. That score is insane.
Yeah.
As, like you said.
Yeah.
Totally
so
insane.
I think we have to find out what you've got when it comes to 100 pin bowling, which means we're running an overtime, and we're going to wrap up the show.
Well,
after
we started a
Brian's.
little late, right?
Just a few minutes, yeah. So we're.
So we'll try to.
Now my high score is 1886, so that was a little low.
Okay, remote. Can you find the screen? Oh, you probably want me to have that screen turned on. That would be helpful.
Yeah, the thought occurred to me.
Okay, now let me see. My cursor thing is not hitting the screen. Here we go.
All right, so
Here we go. 100 pin.
we are here at the Wee Bowling Alley, and we are going to do some 100-pin bowling here, which is absolutely crazy. You would not believe the machinery and mechanisms that are involved in running. The maintenance is crazy. I mean, to be able to coordinate the clearing and the setting up of 100 pins, just one piece of metal goes out of place and it just all goes to hell. But Brian's got his ball, and he's sporting his sunglasses, always his trademark sunglasses, and we're going to see what he's made of here. Now, normally 10-pin bowling's his game, but he's going to give it a try with the 100 pins, and he's getting ready to approach the lane here, and he's, angling in and thinking about how he wants to approach this. And here we go with frame 1, 100 pin setup, and in 100 pin bowling, there is one red pin that is put at the head there to kind of help give you something to aim at, because you're just looking at a sea of white pins, and it really is difficult to make that middle if you don't have it marked out for you. So he's going to aim straight in for that red pin. He kind of approaching a little bit from the right there and kind of angling in, it looks like, is what he's doing. And he's giving it some thought. And now he's going in for the aerial photography, which I guess got little drones that they fly in now. It's a little excessive, but it is allowed in league play. So and now he's reviewing the arm motions. And he's coming in. And the release, and it's looking good. We're approaching the red pin from the right, and we make contact. And
Ooh, that was so weak.
Oh, that's going to be one heck of a split right there. 94 pins. 94 pin. This is very different from 10 pin, as Brian is learning, but, if he keeps at this game. So we got a smattering of pins here. With one lone pin all the way to the left, and quite a spread to the right, actually. Picking up the spare is going to be difficult on this one. But he's going towards the right here, and he's closing in that pin, and I think I see where he's going. And, well, he picked up 2 pins, which is not bad. That was very good. That one pin came very close to knocking down some others over to the right there. But it just dodged right around those 3 pins there, and nothing flew over towards the left. So that gives us a 96 for the first frame. And that brings us to frame 2. And, he's coming in for frame 2, going a little different approach this time. And we hit the red pin, and they go down. And, ooh, 98 pins, but those 2 pins are pretty wide apart. You've got a pin that's kind of further up to the front to the left, and a pin and a back all the way right there. So I think he's going to try to come in on that left pin and hit it to the right to send it off to the left towards that pin. It's going to take some precise angles here. This is where trigonometry really comes in handy. It's kind of like billiards, but with bowling. And, just missed it. Just missed it. He just came in a little too much one way there, I guess. But that's a 99 on that frame. That brings it to 195. And now we reach frame 3 here. And this is an interesting game. Not bad for a first time. And that is what she said. And we throw the ball. And we got a good hit in the middle there. And is it going to be? Yes! That last pin just was hanging on, and it went down. We got ourselves the first strike of the game. 100 pins. And, of course, as we all know here, when you get a strike, you get 100 points plus the next 2 balls. So these next 2 balls is a pair of balls that really counts. So Brian's going to make these balls count because, these are what these balls are made of right here. Because not only do you get the points for these balls, but you get them added to the last frame. So it's a chance to really pick up some points here, especially if we can get another strike. And he's going to try to come in from the left instead of coming in from the right this time. Which, some people come in one way. So he's playing around with his options, and that's not bad. That's a 98 pins, but the 2 pins are standing right next to each other. This should be an easy spare to pick up right here. So this is shaping out to be an okay. We got some good possibilities this frame, and yes, picked up the spare. So there we go, and that brings us up to $3.95 for frame 3, with a spare on frame 4. Score pending the next ball. It's okay because Brian's cam is up. So we are coming in from the right again this time. Brian seems to like to do it from both ways. And we got some goalposts here up in the frame, the lane. Because we got a pin near the front to the left and a pin all the way to the right and the back. So we're going to want to knock that front pin from the left side to shoot it off to the right. Precision angling here is what we need. And can we do it? Oh, that would have been so awesome if it worked. But it just came in a little behind it. This shot a little too far. And that brings us 99 points on that frame. So here we're at the halfway point with 692 points. So, we're going to try coming way in from the outside to the middle this time. This is an interesting technique here, but we got to give them all a try. And he hits the red pin. There we go. That is a strike right there.
Look at those pins just
look
fly.
at that. Oh my God. I mean, the sounds of pins rumbling like that. That is a beautiful sound to hear if we had the sound turned on. But that is a strike. So these next 2 balls are really going to count. And so he's going to try to repeat his same luck. He seems to have found his new strategy. And he comes in, he hits the red pin, and down they go. Ooh. Down. Oh. One lone pin stays standing. It's like the alley it's like it's giving him the finger. Fuck you. But we're going to try to pick up the spare here. Aiming right for it. Nailed it. Like butter. And so there we go. We picked up the spare on that. So at the end of frame 6, it's an 892, but we got 100 points on frame 7 plus the next ball. So this is going to be a very critical ball right here. And we're sticking with coming in wide from the outside as our preferred method here. And we make contact with the red pin. Down they go. And yes! Another strike. This is when to pull it out. All the stops are coming out now. And that brings us to 1,092 on the end of the 7th frame with a strike in the 8th. So we got a pair of balls coming up here to add to this. And we are nearing the end of this round. And here we come in. We're coming in from the edge again. We hit the pin. And, oh, no. 3 stayed up. But they're in a row. This is an easy spare to pick up. So he's going to come in from the side at those as well. Interesting choice. But it's been working well for him for the first round.
Left one.
But no. He only got 2 down for 99 on that frame. So the end of the 9th frame, we are at 1390. And this is frame 10. This is the frame where you might get some free balls. If you bowl good. And we're going to come in from the side again. Going for another strike here. Strike on frame 10. That's what we want to see, and we don't. We left 2 pins up, and it's not the worst split that you can see in this game, but it's not great either. But those pins, we're gonna have to send that. We basically got the 5 pin, and then we got like 2 rows behind it all the way to the left. So they're kind of close. So you really need to hit that one very much on the edge to make it fly back shallow. And no, that sent it shooting way too far back. So that left 1 pin up, no extra balls, no spare to pick up here. And that brings us to a 1489 at the end of this game. And I would normally say not Brian's best game, but being that this is the first time Brian's played this game, this actually is, in fact, Brian's best game of 100-pin bowling. But hopefully this won't stay his best round of 100-pin bowling. Not the worst score you could get, but...
hey, it's my high score.
It's his high score.
It's the only score.
And yes. And so, I believe that brings another fun-filled edition of Gaming with Gators and Brian, which was this week's placeholder on.
Insert title here.
That brings it to a close. So, what do you think, Brian? You have fun with this?
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah. I don't know if we do this every week. We really need to get more participants because we need more announcers. Is what we really need. But there's some possibilities here.
Well, that was dumb. I turned off XSplit by mistake.
That's okay. We'll just leave it on my face. We only got 1 viewer anyways.
Right. Well,
But-
I can change this to my camera.
There we go. You're back.
All right.
So, anyways, I think we were. I think we even learned a lot this week.
Yeah.
And I learned that you hadn't played 100-pin bowling before.
Yeah.
That's not that great of a learning thing. I'll think out with something better. But what have you learned this week,
Well,
Brian?
no, I was actually fine. That was a good thing to try. What the
Yeah.
heck, right?
So,
And I see you haven't done that island fly around before.
no, I hadn't. But that was
Well, I
that
think
was
that's
cool.
a pretty cool game.
I'm gonna have to play some more of that. Now, what did you learn this week?
What was it called? Puppy.
You learned about puppy play.
Puppy play.
Puppy play. Apparently, it's
Interesting.
quite freeing. Basically wearing your emotions on your sleeve, just being very happy and wanting praise and cuddles and snacks, and just basically happily showing affection for people all around you. Apparently is quite a freeing experience and quite appealing to some. Not me, though. I think it's silly, but I can see the appeal. That was something I learned about a few days ago. But today I learned that maybe I'm onto something with this announcing idea. I don't know. We'll have to see if we can get some more participants.
Yeah, I think the announcing idea is a good idea. I wouldn't have thought of it. It's like watching some dude play a game. That could be boring. But if you become the announcer, that could make it interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting bit.
Now, as a viewer, is that going to be interesting?
We'll have to find out.
How many viewers did we have at the end?
Well, we got 1 viewer, and we had 3 at our peak. Over on the audio stream, though, which is where people only hear the announcement, we got 8. I don't know how many of them fell asleep, though.
Or how many were Russian bots?
Well, we do like the Russian pole dancers, so...
That's true, and that'll be a standard feature, I think.
Oh, yes. She is the official pole dancer of the Dune and Bob show.
Right.
And she's got a great smile. But anyways,
Absolutely.
we are running over here, and I need to go hang out downstairs where the air conditioning is, and wish you all a good night. Also downstairs where the air conditioning is and where the ice cream is.
Very good.
So, and the shower, because I am sweaty. But then again, I'm probably gonna have to sleep up here, unless I sleep on a couch downstairs. Nah, I can't do that. I think it's gonna cool down some tonight. So, anyways, thank you everyone for listening, and good night.
So, do you have a indoor-outdoor thermometer?
Yes.
Cool. Everybody
Generally,
needs one.
generally, the downstairs of this house does a good job at staying 10 degrees cooler than it is outside without air conditioning. So, and my air conditioning is just powerful enough for an area a little bit smaller than our downstairs based on recommendations. But my thought is that, you know, in ideal circumstances, you don't need the full power that is recommended. So being that this house stays 10 degrees cooler than the outside and the days start pretty cool, I figure I turn on that window unit in the morning before it warms up, and it basically just kind of keeps up with the day. Plus, it has a head start that this house stays pretty cool, and it's been working out good. So I
So
don't.
this is basically a window air conditioner?
Yeah, it's a window unit,
Oh, okay.
and I haven't burned down the house yet. Power's solid in here.
Hey, I grew up with window air conditioners.
Well, my dad was concerned that if I overload circuits, it could start a fire, because you don't know if like the electrical was upgraded or just the electrical box was upgraded with breakers that are for more than the lines can handle. But I believe this house was like gutted in the late 70s, early 80s. So I don't think it has original 30s wiring in the walls. Otherwise, I'd be in trouble.
Right, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, I grew up in a house that was built probably in the late 50s, and it seemed to be okay running air conditioner in each bedroom.
Hmm.
I think they were on different circuits.
Well, looking at Google Street View of this house, the previous owners had 2 window units in this house, one downstairs, one upstairs. So that's also a good sign.
right.
Yeah. Anyways,
Now, do you have a second air conditioning unit to put upstairs?
I have a small one that's probably enough to cool one room upstairs, and I give
Yeah, you just close the door then.
yeah
and run it.
I give Kristen priority with that one.
Okay.
She's got her own little twin bed in her office area because she, you know, that just. Oh, you know what? Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that. You know, it's actually becoming more of a normal thing for some couples to have second rooms. If you know, and it's you know, it's not a consistent thing. It's just well, you know, she's so worried that she's gonna wake me up that she can't rest. And I'm like, dude, whatever. I sleep like a log, but
That's right.
I'm going to put the shovel down and just close the show now. So thank you all for listening.
All right.
Good night,
Before we-
everyone.
Before we reveal too much information.
No, I don't think we revealed too much.
All right.
This is where Venison would say something stupid.